What's up, guys? Earth First Space Later here. Because the truth of our world is more important than going to Never Never Land. Today's April 5th, 2020. It's been a crazy week. Crazy last couple weeks. Um, it's going to get worse probably with the hype of the media. Um, I think a lot of it is theater for something else going on. I'm going to put out another video tomorrow explaining something that I came across from the CDC and how they're labeling COVID-19 on death certificates and how they're just going to blanket a lot of the deaths as COVID-19 when they're not actually proven to be that, because they may want these numbers to be really high. I don't know exactly what they're trying to do, but you guys just keep your faith and keep your gratitude and be thankful for what we have. Be thankful for your families and your friends, everybody that you have that you can talk to, and be supportive of each other right now in this time is important for us to not freak out and to not be scared, because that's what they want, is for us to be scared. And we know on this channel we're not scared. We're just not. So I'm going to put that out tomorrow and break it down a little bit. But I wanted to just tonight check in real quick. Just had a couple of questions for the Globers about where we live. See if I can get some definitive responses that I haven't been able to find, and if they could provide them for me for that, I'd be very grateful. Again, because we're all in this together, right? So one of the first things that I would like is if anybody could out there, can you prove that we live on a globe without NASA? That's the first thing. Can you prove that we live on a globe without NASA? Okay. Second thing, can you please disprove the Michelson-Morley experiment of late 1800s without the Lorentz contractions that Einstein needed to disprove it, because he had a really hard time with the result from the Michelson-Morley experiment that showed that the Earth was not going around the Sun at 66,000 miles an hour. So in fact, that would have indicated that the Earth was just hanging out in space, not moving. Obviously, Einstein, no, he couldn't have that, right? So he got with this guy named Lorentz. They came up with some math, and they made the aperture that they used in the experiment contract while it was spinning, and said that was what caused the result of the experiment that showed that the Earth was not moving around the Sun. So that's questionable. Also, Aries failure. What about anybody? Can anybody give me some definitive empirical scientific proof about Aries failure, where he used a telescope on an angle to just try to determine whether the stars were moving above us or whether the Earth was moving, and when he filled it with water and let the light pass through it at the same angles, he determined that the stars were moving above us and not the Earth below us. If there is some empirical evidence disproving this, I would love to see it. Again, I'm on my own journey, and I'm willing to look at anything. Another thing that is interesting to me, because of this crazy situation with the COVID-19, we've also got a meteor that's apparently coming close to us, or something called CV-19, meteor CV-19. If anybody could tell me, should we be able to use a meteor to prove that the Earth is spinning? Because if a meteor is coming in anywhere near our atmosphere at many thousands of miles an hour faster than our atmosphere is spinning, then it should absolutely ignore the laws of our spinning atmosphere that say that our atmosphere spins in lockstep or Velcro with the spin of the Earth. Therefore, while the Earth is spinning and the meteor is coming in at a trajectory that it is, we should be able to differentiate those two things and therefore prove that the Earth is spinning. So, is this something that we could look at to be able to prove that the Earth rotates on an axis while a meteor is coming in on its own orbit from outer space while the Earth is spinning 1,000 miles an hour on its axis and moving away from whatever the orbit of the meteor at 66,000 miles an hour around the sun? Can we put all these trajectories together to predict and prove that the Earth is rotating? That would be amazing if we could do that. So let's try to do that. Also, do we have proof of parallax from Dr. Halley, named Halley's Comet after him? The one thing that he forgot to do, because he was trying to prove parallax when he couldn't be on both sides of the Earth at the same time, so he took his measurements 12 hours apart, thinking that the Earth would spin around 12 hours later. He would be on the other side of the Earth, and he could take his measurement again. And then he could look up in the sky, and he could figure out the difference in the angles of the stars. What he forgot to do was to calculate how far the Earth moved through space at 66,000 miles an hour in a 12-hour time frame. That might be a problem. These are just a few questions I have for some globe experts to help me out with. So, let's do this together. Let's work on it. It's all good. Anyway, you guys be safe. Practice your social distancing. Make sure if you put a mask on to write on the front of your mask, in quotations, "We are not a virus." Because we're not a virus. Humans are not a virus. Viruses are actually not even alive. They're not living organisms. And they can't be spread through the air or on surfaces because they can't live outside the human body for very long at all. Go research germ theory. Look up a book called Goodbye Germ Theory by Dr. William Treebing, and your eyes will be opened and amazed at what you learn. We're coming across a lot of new information, and in the next few weeks it seems like we're going to really come across some new information. So my advice to you is don't be scared. Be faithful. Love each other. Tell each other the truth. And we're going to be just fine, guys. I love you all. Thanks for supporting me. Earth first, space later out. Peace.